Alright, now we're doing AQ, find nearest square number. This is by Ryakial, and 90% of the people like it. So our task is to find the nearest square number using this function of a positive integer in. Good luck, and here's some other kata here. Alright, so basically, to find the nearest square number, what we're going to have to do is get the square root of in, and then we're going to have to round that number, round whatever the square root is to the nearest integer, then square that number, and no matter what, it's going to give us what we need. But the thing is, let me show you the thing. First, let's do a let square, hold on. First, let's do this. Let square root equal in times, and then we're going to say 0.5, which is basically n to the 1/2 power, which is the square root of anything, honestly. Or, yeah, basically. So now that we've got this, let's do a console.log. Console.log. And we'll say square root. All right, let's test this out. All right, so you see right here, we've got all of these, and if after the decimal place, it's above 5, so like this one or this one, we're going to round it up to the nearest, to the next integer. So just do like this number plus plus, right? The thing is, what we got to do is somehow separate this from this so we can round it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this whole thing into a string. We're going to just put these, we're going to get these numbers isolated. Then we're going to select the isolated number from this number, and then we're going to round this number. A little complicated, I know, but that's what happens when we're not using any methods or something. So to do this, we're going to create another function and say function whole number, like this. And then we'll say inside here, we'll put num. We'll put square root. How about that? So that way we'll just pass this number into here, all right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, first let's declare a variable called string, which is we're going to turn the square root into a string, equals square root plus empty string like this, and that's going to turn it into a string. Now we're going to also have result equal an empty string like that. And one more thing we got to declare is I. We're going to have that equal 0 because we're going to be doing a while loop. So we're going to say while string at I does not equal a period. What we're going to do is we're going to say result plus equals string at I, and then we're also going to do I plus plus. But if we hit test right now, it would take 12 seconds to go and say that it's timed out and it's infinity, right? Because basically if we look at this one right here, there's no period, right? So how do we fix that? Well, we're just going to add a period right here. And now the square root has a period following it no matter what. So we can do this thing. So now we'll just say return result. And let's come up here, wrap this square root in parentheses, and let's run this whole number function we just made on it and see what happens. Test it. All right, now we got these whole numbers. Thing is that they're strings right now because it's still in string mode. So all you have to do to convert it to a number is say times 1, and it'll take care of business. Now, I mean, it says the same thing because it doesn't do the thing. Ooh, I know how to prove it. Watch. So let's just wrap this in an array. No, let's wrap this whole thing in an array. Like that. Test it out. So you see there's strings right now, but now if we say times, what did I just do? Times 1, test it out. There we go. Now they're not in strings anymore. So let's get these brackets out of here. All right. And now what we want to do is subtract this from this number right here so we can isolate it. So let's, first things first, let's say let temp, no, we already got a let up there. Let's say let temp equal this right here. All right. Let's just take it and put it right here. All right. So now this equals that. So what we want to do is say square root minus temp. Let's see what this looks like. All right. All right. And you see now we've got all these isolated, and this one's a 0, so we don't got to deal with it. All right. So now that these are isolated, we're going to say, what are we going to say here? We're going to say down here, if, and we'll just say if this is greater than or equal to 0.5, we'll say temp plus plus. We'll add 1 to temp. Let's see console.log temp like this. Test it out. 11311. Okay, 11 and 100. This was 10 and this was 99, right? So all we got to do now is just say return temp. Test this out. Oh, what? Come on now. What's this? Temp plus plus. Return temp. Why is that not working? Oh yeah, because we got to square it. So we say square it. Let's test that out. And then look at that, we win. Awesome, awesome. Let's attempt it. Make sure there's no tricks. And we win. Woo! Look at that. Look at all that typing. That's ridiculous. This is a ridiculous way to do it. We're going to comment this out. We're going to say, what is it? Slash star. We're going to say control end. We're going to do star slash. We're going to do control home. We're going to say enter. And instead of this way, we're going to do concise syntax. We're going to say const nearest SQ equals in. We're going to have an arrow right here. And then we're going to do something like this, Math.round. And then we're going to say in times 0.5. And then we're just going to square that like this. Whoops, like that. Now, if you don't know about the Math.round static method, basically, it's the static method that returns the value of a number rounded to the nearest integer. So all we got to do is put Math.round and then x, any integer we want. So we'll put this integer and then that, and let's test it out, see what we got. And just like that, attempt it, make sure there's no tricks. There we go, and submit it. All right. And you see another example of why it's good to know these methods, right? Or at least how to make your own methods or whatever. But look, here's this one. They're doing math.pow with math.round with math.square root, which is cool. I like doing it this way better. There's also this one, which is the same. This is doing some while loops. This is cooler, I guess, than the one we just did, but whatever. And then you can just keep going down and check them all out. Let's go over to mine, just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it, and we'll see you next time.